other topic, thermodynamics, and the word itself actually tells us a lot about what's going on because it's made up of two words, thermo, which just means heat, and dynamic, which has to do with moving. So what we're talking about here is the movement of heat, and we're trying to figure out how heat moves, what the processes are, and being engineers, some way of measuring them so we can do some calculations, figure out how much heat's going to shift from one place to another. So basically we have a situation where we have something which is hot, or at least hotter, and something which is cold, or colder than the hot one anyway. And the Zeroth Law of Thermodynamics tells us that if these two things are in thermal contact, and that just means that somehow heat can get from one to the other, then the heat will flow, unsurprisingly, from the hot one to the cold one. So we have this flow of heat as long as they're in thermal contact, which means that there's no insulation between them. There is a method, well, no effective insulation. There is a method for the heat to get from one to the other. It will go from the hot one to the cold one until they're both at the same temperature, and when they're both at the same temperature, then that flow will stop. So the difference in temperature between the two things is going to be a key element of what goes on. And what we're interested in at this level is how the heat flows and what conditions have to be in place for that heat to flow. And we're going to talk about three different types of heat flows. We're going to talk about conduction, convection, and radiation. And very roughly, conduction is for solid, convection occurs in a fluid, so a liquid or a gas, and radiation can occur through a vacuum. Okay, so in these three different types of ways, we can get heat going from a hot body to a cold body. As long as there's something that allows one of these three things to happen, then the movement of heat will occur, and you get this thermodynamic transfer until the two bodies or the two areas are at the same temperature, and then it will be in equilibrium and the movement will stop. Okay, so conduction, convection, radiation, three big types of heat transfer we're going to be looking at.